Since we last talked about Apple Vision Pro, there's been a ton of new information released, and for some reason, absolutely nobody's talking about it. So in this video, I want to go over the latest updates that we have for Apple Vision Pro as we approach the release date in just under a few months. Now, we have a lot of good stuff that I'm going to jump into in just a bit, but first, I want to get the bad news out of the way. You might be wondering why Apple just keeps saying early 2024 without a specific release date. And well, it's apparently because some key components of the device have been running into some problems. Specifically, there were some big questions after the event first happened about why no Apple executives were photographed wearing the device. For example, in the flagship photos, Tim Cook is standing next to it, but in no interview and no press release is he actually wearing it. Nor was any single other employee at Apple seen wearing the headset outside of the presenters in the keynote, which seemed a bit odd. And now, it seems like we know why this was the case. According to The Verge's Alex Heath, who got a good scoop on this, he's talked to a number of people involved with Vision Pro, and he has heard that the front eyesight display is just not working yet. And this front display is not only one of the most unique parts of Vision Pro, it's a really core part of Apple's messaging that they want this product to feel human and natural, so that when somebody walks into the room, they don't see a person with a thing on their head, they just see that person with their eyes. The last thing Apple wants is an iPhone X Face ID fail situation where the very first time they publicly demoed it, they had to go to a backup device instantly, especially with a new technology like this. And if you still don't believe me, even in Apple's most recent images of developers using apps on Vision Pro, they do not show the front of the display with eyesight working. They just show a side profile, so you don't get a good look at what's happening on the display. Unfortunately though, it's not just eyesight that Apple's been having challenges with. According to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, there's also a weight issue being addressed at Apple because the device is about a pound, a little bit over a pound actually, which is very comparable to the newest Quest 3 from Meta that I've been spending some time with. First of all, this device has sold me on mixed reality being the right call for Apple to do here, but second, in sessions of over an hour of usage, yeah, it's on your head. It hurts. It is not very comfortable. So what is Apple's solution? It's this optional top strap, of which apparently the design has not been finalized. So the thing that's supposed to make the weight more tolerable, Apple has not finished this top band. It might even be sold separately. So I do think it's these two big hardware things that have to be solved, because Apple can ship something with mediocre software and fix it pretty quickly, but you can't fix a product that's already in somebody's hand if it's a hardware thing. And while these two problems are hardware related, we're starting to see some things in software that also aren't panning out, like mouse support that Apple initially said would be on the Apple Vision Pro headset at launch. That is not going to be the case. We've learned in the latest visionOS beta that is just not going to work on day one. And to be clear, I don't think mouse support is nearly as important as keyboard, considering that you're just going to pinch and look with your hand, but it is a note that Apple said it was going to be there, and that's something else that doesn't seem like it's going to end up making it. And rounding out the bad news here, we've also heard reports that Siri is not doing great on this device. Now, let's be honest, Siri is not doing great on any devices, but specifically on the developer kits that have been sent out, Siri is just straight up not enabled yet, which is a bit concerning. Now, moving on to the iPhone, Apple's not planning to release a new version when the Vision Pro launches in early 2024, but you can get this cool new ring locks case made by JSOX, who sponsored today's video. So I've been trying this out on my iPhone 15 for a couple of days now, and the most interesting part by far is the stand mechanism on the back. It's a really unique ring setup that offers a couple of different options. I mean, for one, you can stand it up on a table or in a FaceTime call, so you can do that hands-free. Or if you want to sit back and enjoy something longer form like a YouTube video, watch some Netflix, you can do that as well, and even adjust the angle to get it just right for what you want. The ring is also great at giving you better grip when you're using your phone, so if you ever accidentally drop it, it won't actually fall on the ground because it's still on your finger. And finally, if you always have your hands full like me, it's great to just slide this on your finger and pick up whatever you need to without having to set your phone down. But JSOX, they also have some other things that are great that I've been testing, like their USB-C cable that has a super premium material and looks great, as well as this dope looking USB-A to USB-C dongle that also looks sick. Like, why does nobody else make dongles that actually look cool? And just for you guys, I got a special link down below in the description, so click that, grab a new ring locks case for your iPhone or one of their dope USB-C cables. Huge thank you to JSOX for sponsoring this one. Now, let's get back to it. Okay, cool. Now on to the good news. So we talked about some things in visionOS being cut, but there is a lot that Apple has been working on refining. For example, we get our very first look at this new accessibility hand pointer tool where you can actually see with a vertical line on screen where you're looking. I don't think this will be something that a ton of people enable, but it's cool to see more about visionOS that we didn't see on day one, and this could definitely be useful, especially especially if you have an accessibility need. visionOS is also aesthetically getting cleaned up a bit. We've got some new icons here for compatible apps that look a bit more in line with parts of iOS and macOS that we've seen before, a bit more abstract. And there's even an icon that will show at the top of your visionOS home screen when you are disconnected from Wi-Fi. Apple's even been doing some work on the sounds in visionOS. I just want to play you a couple interesting ones that they've updated throughout the beta cycle. I don't know why that's so cool. Okay, most recently in visionOS, the App Store has been enabled. This is something that Apple said they would give to developers, and now it seems like it is live in the latest version of visionOS. Developers can play around with the App Store. And speaking of apps, well, what have developers been up to? I just want to show you a couple examples because we're actually starting to see and feel the vision. I'm sorry for that pun, but what Apple actually wanted people to do with this. These are just a handful of some concepts and ideas, I think, for calendar apps or calculators that we've seen so far, but the one that has been the most interesting to me is the very first visionOS game, a video of that development. So the idea is basically you put your hands together in front of Vision Pro and form a heart, and you have to make these sad clouds happy. And I know that this is the greatest gimmick of all time. Like, this is not actually what people are paying $3,500 for, but it really made me realize that this is a whole new depth that we have. You can't play an iPhone game and like use your body as the controller. And that's what Apple has done with just subtle taps and clicks with your fingers. It's cool to see this, and like, this is just a taste. We haven't actually seen what developers have been working on in the Apple Developer Labs, which just recently expanded to Sydney, Australia, where I actually just was back for the iPhone launch, and also New York City. If you're a developer, you can sign up for these and touch Vision Pro. Now you have to apply and get approved, but these have rolled out globally. They're in a ton of places around the world. You can actually touch one of these headsets. Something else cool that we've seen in one of the more recent visionOS betas is how the light seals and swapping those out will work. This is the part of the headset that actually blocks out all of the light, so you are just immersed in the headset and nothing in your peripheral vision is distracting you or making it hard to focus. Apple has previously confirmed that there are multiple sizes, but we didn't really know how you swap them out or if that is even a thing, and it definitely is. If you get a small and you actually need a medium or a large, you can do that. It looks like it takes less than 10 seconds. And while we're talking about like what you're actually seeing, lenses, right? I'm somebody that wears glasses, and I didn't think it would be easy to just walk into an Apple store and get a pair of lenses, like if you don't buy that on day one, but apparently it will be a thing that is stocked. According to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, Apple's been having some challenges as to how they will organize this in store, but you will apparently be able to just walk into an Apple store and pick up in store your exact Vision Pro lens prescription. Obviously, you could order it online as well, but Apple stores will be stocking hundreds or thousands of variations of these lenses for Vision Pro, which I personally found fascinating. But by far, there has been one report, I want to save the best for last, that it has boosted my confidence on Vision Pro more than any other report we have heard, and it comes from Wayne Ma over at The Information. He recently dropped an insanely detailed report about how Apple is exploring Vision Pro specifically for mental health treatment. And he talks about how active work in Apple right now is happening for depression management, anxiety coping, and specifically there's been research for like helping veterans work through PTSD and post-traumatic stress by showing them content that can help them cope in a guided environment, like with a therapist. Dude, this is so cool. Like, these are the things that make me feel something, and it's the reason that I love Apple so much is they make tech human. I mean, we've seen one mental health feature in the works. It was the meditation feature, which Apple just briefly talked about in the keynote. But the host of Good Morning America that tried this actually said that she got something unique out of this that she has never experienced in meditation before, and this is something that she does incredibly frequently. The fact that she got something, just like a normal person, out of Vision Pro with meditation, it's got me so excited for like what building off that and doing something more advanced or intricate could look like. So if you can't tell, even with some of the bad stuff we've heard, I am ridiculously excited for Vision Pro. And when exactly do we think this is coming out? Is it really gonna be April 2024? Is it gonna be January? I don't know, but the fact that Apple just keeps saying early 2024, in Tim Cook's own words.
Our Apple team is also making great progress with Vision Pro, and we're on track to ship early next year.
That sounds more like January or February to me than March or April. I think they would just say spring if it was going to be April, because that's still early in the year, but they are tripling, doubling down. Would this be a January, February product release? I don't know, but I certainly think for a product like this, it could be feasible. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section, and if you are picking one of these up, because at the end of the day, it's a $3,500 headset, and that's a lot of monies. Okay, guys, thank you for watching. Again, thank you to JSOX for sponsoring this one. Check them out down below in the description. I've been Sam. Catch you in the next one. Peace.